a woman who ruined the life of an elite Yakuza. Today begins again. When you hear Yakuza, you might think of freedom, but no, it feels quite restrictive. Of course, drugs like stimulants are forbidden. I dealt with them, but it's kind of an unspoken understanding, but still, and I'm no exception. One thing many of us adhere to is not messing with another man's woman, like not laying a hand on a fellow Yakuza's woman, or the woman of someone who's incarcerated. There was someone I deeply respected. He's no longer with us. I held him in high regard, thinking he was an incredible person. But well, I don't like to talk about it, but he got involved with the wife of a guy who was in prison. That guy was serving time because of a conflict within the organization, specifically a conflict within the Yamaguchi family. When he got out and found out about the affair, he took his own life. He was involved in that conflict. The guy who returned and ended his life, I knew him. It's a sad story. Not something to laugh about. The boss of the organization heard about it. He had immense power within the group, so it was a big problem, even for the head of the organization. Eventually, the news reached the ears of the second in command of the main family, the boss of the Takumi family, Mr. Takumi, and he was told to sever ties. That person was excommunicated. Although he was later reconciled after the death of the organization's boss, he was supposed to become a top boss, directly under the main family. I deeply respected him. He was such a prominent figure. It's a sad story, but that's something you just shouldn't do. Everyone agrees it's inexcusable. It's amazing how the story spread among the main family. In the general world, stories about stealing someone's girlfriend are common, right? Sure, it's not a good look if someone's partner is taken while they're in jail. It becomes a big deal. Exactly. If you take the wife of a respected member, it can lead to serious consequences, like suicide. The story became so big that even the head of the organization was troubled. But in the end, he was told by the second in command of the main family that he had to sever ties. Some prominent members, for reasons unknown, transferred to the Takumi group. They were powerful and respectable in their time, but they crossed a line. You shouldn't mess with women. But it's also sad to think that they had to join the Takumi group, which had punished their own boss. It's unthinkable in normal circumstances. But that person was someone I deeply respected. It's just an unfortunate situation. The conflict within the Yamaguchi family is one thing, but messing with another man's woman is the lowest of the low. I firmly believe that you should never do such a thing. The world of drug addicts might change, but that's just wrong. The story of the guy who was incarcerated and then passed away is truly tragic. He probably died out of the frustration of being betrayed by someone he trusted. I once visited that person. He was in a wheelchair by then. He was always a small man, the one who stole his partner. He seemed to live a lonely life in his final days, with only a young person accompanying him. He looked so lonely. He was probably like a foster parent to that young person. He looked so lonely. Even someone who is said to be on the verge of becoming a top boss, directly under the main family, can meet such an end due to the strict rules of the Yakuza. They get caught up in those rules. That's how it is. If you do something unforgivable, no matter how great you are, you can fall that far. It made me realize how strict the world of the Yakuza is. Thank you for listening to my story today. Let's talk again sometime. Please subscribe to the channel.